home in the time of the coronavirus. How are we all going to stay sane? I do not know. A few musings from Dr. Michelle, not that kind of doctor. Stay tuned. Thank you. Wow. Good morning, everyone. This time of our life will be something that we always look back and remember. Where were you at during the COVID-19, aka coronavirus of 2020? I can say that I worked virtually, technically for like the real first time. I've worked from home before. I've worked a lot from home. This is the first time you're not working at your house, you're at your home, you have everything here. I have all sorts of notebooks and whatnot for when I get ready to start work here in a minute. It's crazy. Lots and lots of people, lots of relatives, lots of people, lots of friends. All my colleagues were all working virtually. So I work at a community college, right? And we're not closed, but we have moved to a virtual format. My son, his college class is in jeopardy because he doesn't know if he's going to be able to start it in a couple of weeks. And my daughter just applied for graduate school, and she has no clue what's going to happen. The school they're all working, they have people, but shorter staff, less things going on. All this stuff is going on in our world. So we're all completely, totally unknown. Job seeking is on a hold. My son wasn't able, he works retail. His retail establishment isn't wasn't hiring right now. I mean, it's just a whole mess. So how are you staying safe? How are you staying safe? We all are on social media, right? So we're all on our Facebooks. We're doing Facebook, so I'm reading all the time, and I'm reading positive, even a few positive stuff, which is nice to know. But you read a lot of memes. We're reading a lot of news. We're reading a lot of fake news. It's amazing how many people and relatives that I have, or semi-relatives that I have, because they're not my relatives or my ex's relatives, but we're connected on Facebook, are posting some memes they repost other people's posts that don't have a whole lot of facts to them. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. So I'm not saying that all of their posting is completely, totally, 100% not lies, but a lot of it's skirting the truth. And so, as every single thing that you need to do with your life, you need to make sure that you know the reputable source. If you have any questions whatsoever, go to the CDC website, go to the FEMA website, go to your state's health website. Most states are going to have some sort of COVID-19 website going on. Go to those sites, read for yourself. I heard. So you have one little kernel of truth, and then people blow it out of proportion. So there, when the emergency declaration was implemented by the president, when was that? Days ago, he said that he was starting the Stafford Act. And the Stafford Act is more for emergency management and getting that set up. It does give him additional powers. And then today, everybody's saying the military is coming to your house. No, the military is not coming to your house. Could the National Guard be implemented and sent out? Yeah, it could. Um, we just have to wait and see what happens. But right now, the military is not coming to your house. Yes, and so one one thing about all of this is I'm going to save a little bit of money. Most of the conventions that I'm supposed to have gone to, and there was a list. I was supposed to have gone to New Orleans in April, canceled, which means that I don't get to eat all of New Orleans. Darn it! If I could save that money. I was supposed to go to a Toastmasters convention in April. Canceled. So that's like $180 plus a hotel I get to save. Supposed to go to AAUW, which is American Association of University Women. That was about $350 plus 2 nights hotel or 3 nights hotel. That's been postponed or canceled. Wow. So there's a lot going on. Now, those are first world problems, right? Oh, I get to save money. But then we go to the grocery store and spend $129 every single time because we're not hoarding, but we think, okay, well, let's go to the store for this thing. So you go to the store for that one thing or those two things. And then you have $100 worth of stuff in your cart. You're like, how did this happen? Rule number one, do not take your adult children. That's rule number one. Um, but the grocery stores is completely a whole other mess. Oh my goodness, people have, I don't know what's going on. First it was toilet paper and hand sanitizer and soap, and then it was eggs and bread and flour and soup and corn and potatoes. It's like, wow, a lot of the stuff was disappearing. So we went to the store today. They had limited 2 for eggs, limited 2 for meat, a limited 2 for milk. There's plenty of veggies. I didn't go see the potatoes, but they had plenty of veggies. And then I'm getting a weird dinging. You stop that weird dinging. Um, and then water. Water's pretty much gone except for some Pellegrino. You can still get Pellegrino. You can still get some different waters like the flavored waters that I really like, or alkaline waters. You can just look at alkaline waters. And cat food, I have cats. I when I got some cat food because the cat food aisle was a little empty. I'm sure that's not the first thing people are worrying about. I'm worrying about it because I have a kitty that doesn't feel really good, so I'm trying to get him to eat as much as he can. So he really likes the really expensive little itty bitty little. Don't I have another cat who's um, so I'm spending like $1.29 on these little packages. That's what he eats, and so I gotta get him to eating, and that's my goal. But again, first world problems, and we'll figure that out. But yeah, so cat food was low. So it's not because there is no food in the supply chain. It's not because the supply chain. I have a cat that's bugging me. It's not because of the supply chain breaking down. It's because there is such an it's being impacted so drastically all at the same. It was like switch on, and they couldn't keep up. And the problem is that grocery stores often, not the big ones, but we used to have a lot of grocery stores, a lot of smaller grocery stores, a lot of IGAs, independent grocery stores. Sometimes, a lot of times, they will put their order in for groceries, like a week, 5 days ahead of deliveries because they have to order stuff. Um, and so when they put their orders in, they put in for what they think they need at that moment. Well, what happened is that, like I said, a switch turned and everybody ran to the store and took all the toilet paper, a lot of hoarders, all of the milk, all of the hand sanitizer, all of the corn. I'm still not sure about corn. And then when they did that, they wiped out everything everywhere. Then the new orders that came in wouldn't replace everything because they were just their standard order. So now they're going to have to quickly get everything replaced. But then everybody else, so everybody's being affected. And hand sanitizer. When the Purell or whoever the manufacturer of the hand sanitizer, they have the bottles, they have the labeling, they have the product, they have the workers to do a set amount. They have all this planned out throughout the entire year. They know they're going to do, I don't know, 10,000 hand sanitizers a month, for example, and I'm just making that number up. Well, that's what they're equipped to do. So that's how many bottles they've ordered. That's how many dispenser thingies they've ordered. That's how many plastic pieces they've ordered to make the bottle sure the bottles are sealed. That's kind of even how many orders they have pre-sold, right? Because they sell them, and then or they sell orders, and a lot of times the orders are from what they went through the previous year. Okay, so if they sold 1 million hand sanitizers last year, then for the most part they think they're going to sell 1 million the next year, maybe ramping up, a particular percentage or something. Well, I have to get my kitty next to me, all settled. Not the one that doesn't feel good. This is my fat cat, my kitty that loves attention. Not all the time, but some of the time. Um, so when if so we'll take the little bottles, for example. So they may have access to a lot of the product, but they may only have 1 million bottles. So if they go through all of their inventory like that, then they have a supply chain issue. So now they're going to have to go back and they're going to have to order the bottles, or they're going to have to make the bottles, however they get the bottles, and then they're going to have to make um, the little push things. There's all sorts of things that they have to do in the supply chain. So the supply chain isn't broken. It's just been so incredibly taxed that um, it has to have time to ramp up. And then you have the issue, and I guess this happened in the past when you had SARS and the swine flu and all that, is that people um, ramped up and they bought new equipment and they purchased new items and whatnot, but it takes time. So it took them time to ramp up and to do everything. And then it was over like that. And all of the ramping up and the new things that they ordered is no longer needed, or the new people that they hired are no longer needed. And so there is ripple effects to all of this. So I'm going to take a really quick break. So everybody is good for a couple of moments. Will also say I have a friend who lives in Hawaii, and she sent me honey roasted macadamia nuts. Oh my goodness! And sour cream and onion macadamia nuts. They were so delicious. Oh my goodness! But there's a lot. So this entire cup, which I have not eaten the entire cup, this entire cup has 760 calories or so in it, and carbs are pretty good. They are 7 net carbs per per serving. So that's what 28. So there's 28 net carbs in the whole thing. Again, I didn't eat the whole thing. I've actually had this for a little while. I even have a few nuts left in here. A few, not very many, but a few. Anyway, another um, pretty good keto. I'm not saying friendly, but keto light are these Epic bars. And this one is venison. This has a few more. This has, no, this is the good one. This has 2 carbs in it. So this Epic bar is 2 carbs. As you can see, I eat about half of it, and there are 80 calories. 80 calories per my venison Epic bar. The bison, I think it was 8 carbs. So that was a little bit higher. So that was so I'm trying keto, and I will probably even play around maybe on the musings of Dr. Michelle with a couple of the keto recipes that I really like. Um, because this is my channel, and I'm a one-person show, and nobody's listening to me anyway, so I can do what I want. Um, of course, if you're a really big YouTuber with 1 million followers, they expect a certain content. I don't have to follow anything. But I do want to close up here in a minute, but I wanted to do 2 things. I wanted to talk about my eyeshadow. I'm not sure how well you can see it. So I have the oldie but goodie I have blood sugar on, and Jeffree Star. So this, I stole this from my daughter this time. Usually I still make it for my son. I stole this from my daughter, and I use this one right here for the base of my eyes, and I use this one right here for the kind of to blend it out. And I was quite impressed, and I have Tatu glitter stamped on, but I was quite impressed. I thought I was kind of worried that this was going to be like super, super red when it comes out. It looks very terracotta more than like a red. And it does show a little bit redder than I think it even does in the pan, but it blends out so well. Like I said, I was quite impressed with that. And then I have two mascaras on. I went out and I bought the Fenty Beauty, and I like it. Don't get me wrong, I like it. I just wish it did a little bit more. And then I also have the Shiseido, and it's called Controlled Chaos Mascara Ink. And this is not too bad either. I kind of gave myself a little bit more, I don't know, volume with the Shiseido, but I use both of these together. Anyway, um, I I like the blood sugar, and everybody loves the packaging, and the packaging is really cool. So obviously, a year old, over a year old now. Um, it's nice packaging. It's nice. It really it's just a nice palette. And like I said, it's one of the first times though I really sat down and played with it, and I'm impressed. And I really did like that. Really liked the quality of this stuff. So I'm going to close though with a challenge for each one of you. And my challenge is to be nice. Be nice to other people and to yourself. And I tell you this every time I talk to anybody. You have to be nice to yourself. What are some of the nice things you are doing for you? And I want you to think about that. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you drinking water? Which I know sounds weird, but I've been on coffee for like the last week. And today I'm like, I need water. My body is telling me I need water. So I'm going to water. Um, and be nice to other people. So please do not hoard, I don't know, 1,000 rolls of toilet paper or 100 jars of hand sanitizer or, I don't know, 20 gallons of milk. It's going to be very interesting. One, I hope all these people that are buying all these little individual bottles of water recycle when they're done drinking them. And water will go bad. You know, water's only meant to be in those bottles for, about a year to, or so. I think it's actually months, so don't quote me on that. But it does have an expiration date, and it has an expiration date because the plastic starts to break down. So there is a reason why it has an expiration date. I don't think everything should have an expiration date. Vodka shouldn't have an expiration date. Not that it go bad in my house anyway. Um, Sugar doesn't have an expiration date as long as no other substances get into it. Honey will last. Salt lasts. Water in plastic bottles does not last. There is an end to this life. Milk obviously is going to go bad. So I really hope people aren't hoarding 20 gallons of milk and then having to throw 18 of them away because they went bad. Other people need that. If you buy 20 gallons of milk and go give it to 18 other people, good for you. I hope people are doing that. I hope that that's what people did with hand sanitizer and toilet paper, is they bought it and then were able to give it to other people. Check in at a distance with your elderly neighbors or relatives. Call people up, Skype, YouTube, Zoom, Blue Jean, whatever it might be, however you communicate with other people, FaceTime, face calls, what do we call it when you can even FaceTime over Facebook, through Facebook Messenger. There's all sorts of ways that you can call people. You can call, video conference call on your phone, that sort of thing. I hope you do that and connect with people. And even if maybe, I don't know, maybe call those people and reconnect that you haven't talked to in a while. That'd be kind of fun. I might try that. Call up a couple of people and just talk. There's a couple of projects I'm working on. Obviously, I'm doing a ton of work. I am trying to do a couple other things. I'm on call. This is really crazy, crazy time. But take some time out for you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you want to subscribe, if you got this far, hopefully you subscribed. Hopefully you rang that little bell so I know somebody watched me. Give me a comment on what are you doing for others? What are you having to do with your life right now? What changes have you had to make? How do you feel about those changes? I'm really curious. And I think that's it. And I think I only touched my face maybe once. That's something else that we have to do is stay away from your face. And we're going to try a drinking game later where you have conversations with people, and every time you touch your face, you have to take a drink or a shot or shot of water. It doesn't even have to be, vodka. It could be water, orange juice. It's just something to think about how much we touch our face and how easy it is to want to do that or rub our nose or just into our eye. And those are the last things that we're going to do. Wash your hands 20 seconds with soap, hot soap and water. Do not drink bleach. I'm hoping that I don't have to tell anybody that. And stay home. You can go outdoors, go walk, go for a nice little jog. I'm going to take a walk. I'm not jogging. But reconnect and be nice to yourself and to others. So we will talk again.